Embroidery Nurse. So I get asked all the time, what machine do I presently use? What did I start with? What do you recommend? So I wanted to show you guys, I started my embroidery business, with this little gal. It was or is still a PE 500. PE 500. They don't make these anymore. I bought it from a buy-sell trade group, which, you know, you might have those in your community, like on Facebook, where a lady was posted it. She didn't need it anymore or want it anymore. She'd actually never even used it. It was still in the box. And I had this grand idea that I'm going to start monogramming everything. How fun. So I went and bought this from her for like $150. And I literally started my business on a 4x4 machine. So this isn't how you start. So I hope you're not watching videos thinking, well, I don't have a machine, you know, a multi-needle machine like that yet. This is how I started. And it really wasn't that long ago. It basically, what started my business off is I posted one item and I priced that item so low looking back, but I know that's how my business literally took off. I posted something and I didn't, you know, pay attention after I posted it for how many people had commented that really wanted to buy that item. I had sold 75 seersucker dresses without even trying, mainly because I priced it so low. But what it showed me was there was a demand for what I had, and I knew I could take this somewhere. But this is what I had to work off of. Now for these little dresses, a 4x4 monogram, you know, size was okay, but it really quickly did I realize that I couldn't do much with a 4x4 frame. Yes, you can do a monogram on things, especially when it comes to children's clothing, and that's what I was doing. But once I got those first 75 orders, I realized I needed something, I needed to move up. And I'd already kind of priced myself to a point where I could. So I moved up from here to another machine. It was still a single needle. It was a Flourish 2, a Babylock Flourish 2. Wonderful machine, workhorse of machine. And I worked that machine with my business for over a year. Worked it hard too. And my business just kept growing and growing and growing. Often with a single needle, you literally have to stay with the item. You can't really walk away from it. So I realized, you know, after working that machine for a year, that it was time for me in my business, that if I was going to continue to grow, that I really needed to invest in a multi-needle machine. And I was so apprehensive about getting this machine, but I had so many orders, I could not keep up. And I have a problem saying no, like if someone needs something, and I enjoyed the process of you know, selling, and that's something that I feel like comes pretty easy for me when it comes to the things that I embroider, because I love them. I think they're great, and I'm happy to provide those to customers. And I needed this. I really did. Actually, this is the one that I got, the Babylock Intrepid. So I got this multi-needle machine and literally got the quick little intro at my embroidery shop, and came home and she just took off running. I really didn't know exactly all the buttons, all the functions, and honestly, there's still things on there that I don't use, but I have used this machine, again, like a workhorse, literally from the day that I brought her home. This is Susie. She has been running every single day. I kept my little 4x4, I think for sentimental reasons. I don't use this, but for some reason I haven't been able to part with it, just because it's kind of what started my business. Well, she is what started my business. I did trade in, after a while, I traded in my Babylock Flourish. I kept her for a little bit because I thought maybe I would still, you know, use her if this, you know, needed to be serviced or whatnot. But I really never, once I got this, went back to using the single needle. I kind of wish I had it now, that way I could kind of show you guys a little bit more videos of things that, you know, you work both ways. But I'm going to try to use a little girl here to show you when I can, of how to embroider something on a multi-needle versus a single needle. So used her, and I have been using her. for almost exactly a year now, but during that time, I grew my business even more, like just continually. And it's just been, you know, steady trend upward, which is amazing. And I'm loving it. But again, I realized I could not keep up with the demand of what I was selling on Etsy, selling on Amazon Handmade, selling, you know, on Facebook and in my community. So I reached out to my, my local shop and was like, I need another 6 needle. Let me know if someone's turning one in. And eventually, I was patient and waited, but eventually somebody did turn this machine in because they wanted to upgrade to a 10 needle, which it's kind of interesting to me because 6 needle is exactly where I want to be. 10 needle is great. I mean, if you can afford it, go for it. But the difference in price from a 6 needle to 10 needle doesn't really give you anything other than, you know, those 4 extra colors. So if you're, you know, doing a lot of things that have tons of colors, then maybe it is, you know, the right one for you. But for me, there's not many things that I'm, you know, embroidering or appliquing or whatnot that have more than 6 colors. So the difference in price to me, this is exactly what I wanted. And when I wanted to get another one, I didn't want to bump up to a 10 needle. I didn't want to trade it in for a bigger one. I wanted 2 because I wanted to work 2 at the same time. So I did buy this one used, but it hadn't been used too much. And I knew that they are workhorses because of how much I've put on this one. So this is Susie and this is Sally. So Sally is a Babylock Endurance II. And since I did get it from my local embroidery shop, Carolina Sew and Back, I knew I really trust them. And so you know, after they fully looked over it, I felt good about buying it used because I had been a little hesitant with that. So there, you know, the difference in the years or the models are very minimal, just the screens. This has you know, a much more vivid screen. But, you know, I knew what to do with this the second I brought it home. So they've both been running, took off once I got the second one as well. I do think eventually there'll be a third one up there. So I haven't really started looking for that one yet, but I'm sure she's coming. So I hope that helps. I mean, honestly, for me, the best bit of advice is to get the machine that you can afford at the time. And if you do see your business growing and going in the right direction, then that's when you realize you need the next one. Because it was, without a doubt, every time I bought the next one up, there was no question of whether I needed it or not. No question. It wasn't I might like to have another machine. It was, I need another machine and I need it now or I can't keep going. So, you know, if you get to that point where it's like, I need another machine, not just because I want it, but because I can't do my business without it, then you'll know it's time to move up. And there are great ways to finance them where, you know, you pay monthly and then you pay it off, you know, as your business continues to grow. And that's what I've done with these guys here. So hope that helps. If you have questions about anything specific when it comes to different embroidery machines, please let me know. The 3 Babylocks that I've had and then this brother have been wonderful. I know there's some really amazing other embroidery machines out there for you as well. And I'd love to hear your input. If you prefer one over the other, put comments below. If you found this helpful, I'd love for you to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way you can see all my different embroidery videos to come. Hope you'll have a great day.